Oh, I wish I had chapstick right now. My lips are very.
Did I just
Not
remind
great.
you because I made the sound?
Yeah. Well, no. Brian put it on, and then I was like, oh.
Gotta get that.
Oh,
Gotta get that fucking chappy,
Yeah.
as we call it in our house.
Oh, I know why I didn't do anything this weekend. I got my booster.
Ah,
I was
you were a
useless.
sleepy boy.
Yeah, I was useless this weekend. But
You
I
were
did see
deadified?
Spider-Man.
Cool.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably intro the show.
We
huh?
should intro to the show, shouldn't we?
I'm assuming we're live because we're always live.
Of course.
Yeah. It's episode 211 of the Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
I've had 3 showers today.
How?
Why?
Hey.
1 by choice and 2 because of potty accidents?
No, actually, all of them.
Potty
all of
accidents.
Them, all of them by being responsible because I was in places where COVID might exist.
Sure.
All decontamination.
Yeah,
showers.
you did the. Yeah, we're back to detox or decontamination showers. At
I
this
mean,
point.
we never stopped.
Oh, we did.
So,
I did
yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
I waited till the end of the day. And, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever did that, but
Yeah, I drove
I mean,
up.
I shower, so
I woke up this morning and I was like, it's a Monday. Let me see what's going on in the world of technology. And so I hit up the Micro Center website and was like, let's just see. And I searched 3080s and they're like, we have 3 in stock. And I was like, that's 3 times as many as you had the last time I checked. Let me go ahead and message somebody as I'm brushing my teeth and be like, hey, is this real? And if so, can I reserve one and have you hold it for me and I'll be right down because I live less than 20 minutes away. And he's like, yeah, I looked and we got 3, but we do not hold them. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
No, they do not.
He's like, we cannot reserve them, and this is prime time hours for GPU purchasing. And I was like, son of a fuck.
The Monday before Christmas? No.
I legitimately, I legitimately asked him. I was like, what do you? I live 17 minutes away. What do you think my chances are if I leave right now? And he was like, you got okay chances. And so I was like, all right. And I hopped downstairs. I did not talk to Audrey about any of this. I hopped downstairs and I was like, hey, Micro Center has 3 of the thing I've been trying to get. And there's a chance that I could get one if I go now. She's like, okay, bye. And gave me a kiss. And I'm like, okay. So she was just taking care of...
She understood the assignment.
Yeah, she was taking care of Riley. And so I booked it. I got down there as fast as I could. I got down there. There were freaking Jabronies all over the store, let me tell you. They were everywhere. And I asked, and it took a while for somebody to come around. And they're like, oh, no, we're out of 3080s. But we do have 3000 series cards. And I was like, what do you have? And they're like, well, we got 3070 Ti's and we got 3080 Ti's. And I'm like, how much is a 3080 Ti?
I'm surprised you went 3080.
I mean,
what did you pay for it?
$2K.
2,000?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's
Wow.
a TI though, so it's gonna last a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it'll last a long time, but I don't know that I would have paid that. What were the 3070s? Do you know?
They were like $1,000, but somebody that I was talking to who put the numbers into perspective was like, this is this percentage of a 3080 and this is this percentage over it. And I was like, I'd rather overcorrect because honestly, when I was checking the money that I had saved, I had more saved than I thought I did.
No.
So that wasn't totally out of hand.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, I'd only saved $1,000, or something like that. And looking back at it now, it probably would have been better to just try to stretch a bit beyond and just buy one of those pre-builts on Black Friday, one of those $1,600 ones, the HP or whatever. I probably should have just done that. But that was more over my budget then
that
than
time.
this was now.
Right.
So it's like whatever.
You got one.
I got one, and then I got it home. I actually, never mind. I'm not gonna blow up her spot. I needed to buy a new power supply, so that gets here on Wednesday. So I haven't actually played anything with it. I was so excited. I put everything together.
Wait,
Didn't work.
what did she say when you told her you need a new power supply? Oh, no.
Okay.
Never
Okay.
mind. I know where this is going. Never mind. You don't have to tell this
Okay.
story. It's fine.
I asked her to look and see if she could see what it said, and she thought it said a much higher number than it actually said. So I was gonna buy a power supply there at the store, but then I was like, well, let me just call and see like if I'm good. And she's like, well, it looks like it says this, and I'm like, okay. All right, I should be good then. And then I came home and checked, and I was super not good. So I needed to buy something, and I bought it and ordered it for delivery as fast as I could get here. So in 2 days,
There you
I'll
go.
be sitting pretty, which is good because that's, I think, about when I'm gonna go on Christmas vacation. So but I still
promise-
actually need to check in a couple of things about that.
So Brian sent me a picture of the inside of his
oh
PC.
my God,
as
I knew
it is
this
right
was
now.
gonna.
And,
I knew this was gonna happen.
And this isn't, I'm not just putting you on blast. I'm putting anybody that listens to the show and has a PC on blast. Look, I know it's a pain in the butt, but you've put how much money into these components? Take care of your PCs. Take one afternoon a year in the minimum. You should do it twice a year, but a year to just take off a side panel, take that bitch outside, and just spray it with air in a can. And just let the dust fly out. Get the
Yeah,
cat
done.
hair out.
Okay.
All that good stuff. And this isn't you. This is a PSA because Brian sent me a picture of the inside of his computer, and I was like, oh boy, that would not.
That was
fly.
after I blew it
That
out.
would not
That was
fly in
after
my
I blew
house.
it out just with my mouth when I like opened it up and I was like, ugh, this is like.
Well, you don't want to do that because you're spitting
Yeah, you don't want that.
on all the
It's like blowing into
Well-
a cartridge.
silicon.
Well, it's too late. And also, I did that constantly when I was a kid.
I mean, we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venalika, welcome back to the show. I hope your semester went well. They were not listening to us for a while because they were in school,
Oh wow!
but they have returned.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
We're a
School, man.
school.
I'm so glad I'm not in school anymore.
Nah, now I just
Oh,
have like certifications as an adult.
Yeah. But anyway, I finally got a graphics card, so I'm not gonna have to have this, have this whole back and forth of like, I like covering games on PC, I prefer that, but my PS5 and Series X are stronger. I'm not gonna have to worry about that anymore.
Has ended.
It has ended. The terror has subsided.
That's right.
No more
we're
terror.
all good. We're all good. Speaking of terror, I'm trying to decide if I actually want to brave the theaters or not for
Nah.
one of my most anticipated movies.
It's real good.
I'm good.
It's real good.
The thing that I was thinking about is like Omicron hasn't really hit US yet. So if I was gonna do it, the time would probably be now, right?
I mean, it kind of
Omicron
has, right?
hasn't really hit you yet. It's hit the Northeast. New York isn't doing as badly from what I read today, like statistics wise, and then what the news is actually saying. New York isn't doing as badly as they say they are, but they're doing badly. Like they're talking about New York
Is this like
it's
Delta
like
Part 2?
they're talking about New York like it's like peak pandemic right now. And it's
Like it's the worst it's ever been?
right, and it's not, but they're trying to make sure that it doesn't get to that point, and you can tell.
Because people will all automatically downplay anyway.
Right. But like SNL, like they didn't have an audience this week. A bunch of the cast members weren't there. They only did pre-recorded sketches. A lot of Broadway is like out until after Christmas at this point because of it. Like New York's getting hit pretty bad. Northeast is getting hit pretty bad in general, but I would say if you're going to go, I would try to go before Christmas, or at least maybe a day or two after Christmas, and I wouldn't wait much longer after that.
That or try to find a theater where there's like nobody.
Yeah, or like go to a matinee or something where like there's.
I mean,
nobody.
With
would be
my
at.
job, I could pretty easily do that.
Yeah, or
like just go in the morning,
or go super super late. Like, I don't know what you're doing the night before Christmas Eve, but I would think I'm going to
double
see
Eve. You mean?
Yeah, like I'm going to see The Matrix at like 10:30.
Oh, I'm watching that at home.
I was
Not going
My
nowhere.
brother-in-law wants to see it, and he just wants to see it in the theater. And
There's no
watching
word
it now,
on them putting Spider-Man on like Disney Plus or something, right?
No,
They're not doing it.
no, they're not going to.
So I either have to wait for it to like go on sale, or I have to go and see it in the theaters.
Correct. It's real good.
It's rough because Spider-Man is literally like my second favorite superhero.
Brian, you're gonna whenever you see it, you're gonna lose your mind over this movie.
Yeah,
It's the most, and granted, not that there have been a ton of movie theater experiences that I've had since Endgame, but it's the most fun I've had watching a movie since Endgame, like in a theater. And I mean, granted, we went opening night, but like people were cheering. Like there was just a lot of like camaraderie in the audience. Like it was fun being back in that kind of space. Because I hadn't had that in a really long time.
Yeah, Audrey was kind of saying like, yeah, like you can go because like we are extraordinarily careful, and like she's kind of trained me up in her kind of medical training on like how to like don't touch anything, don't take your mask off, like don't do any of that sort of stuff,
and wash your mask again. Well, I mean, you should have always been doing that, but a lot of people don't wash their masks.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we've got like the reusable like 3M masks and stuff like that. Yeah. And then when we need to go to like serious areas, like we've got like the ones that they use in the hospital that like Audrey just has access to.
Yeah.
So like the blue ones and stuff like that, and like the white like cone ones that I think look pretty cool, make you look like a plague doctor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like she was, and like there was a thing that she had to do for work where she was in the car with somebody that was later confirmed to have COVID, and like Audrey was totally fine because like we take the precautions, like we take proper precautions. So
yeah,
we decontaminate, we do all that sort of stuff.
Bum Chub, and I don't know if you would be able to. I don't know if there's one.
Bum Chub?
No, Mum Jum.
What the hell did you just say to me?
Mum Jum in the chat says,
okay,
go to a drive-in theater if you have one.
We have like none here.
There's one like an hour from me.
I mean, Mum Jum would know if we have a drive-in theater around here.
I would only be willing to drive an hour for something that I was like truly excited about, and
if it
like Dune is maybe the most excited I was for a movie in recent memory, and even then I would have been like, I'll just watch it.
If a new Star Wars movie came out and it was only in theaters, how far?
That might be the only thing,
like
but I would
how far
still
would you drive though?
Like an hour,
okay.
maybe.
Okay.
But I would have to be like in the theater with no one basically right now.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel. I mean, like if there were people, but they were far away, sure. But I wouldn't want to go like.
I need to call someplace up and see if they're doing like seats 6 feet apart or something.
I think most places here are, but they're only like, I think there's only like 1 or 2 seats as a buffer, depending.
Yeah, PA isn't doing
and
that
I'm like,
anymore.
that's not enough for me.
I mean,
like,
honestly, another option is if you can wait till, I don't know, even like middle of January to go see it. It's still going to be in theaters. By then, like, nobody's going to be going to see it.
By then, yeah, most people will probably have gone and seen it.
But
right?
like, working where I work, I feel like every day is like rolling the dice on whether I'm going to get spoiled.
It absolutely is. That's why I saw it as early as I did, because of that. That's why I see all these movies when they first come out, because every weekend I'm the one that has to put up 10 biggest what the F questions about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't care about spoilers for Marvel stuff, really. So like if I hear something, I'm going to be like, okay.
There's a lot in this movie that if I had known going, I don't know, there's a lot in this movie that got spoiled just from the trailers too, but
I didn't watch any of them. So.
Yeah, then
because they just do that now.
Yeah, they just have that happen.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation about that.
I think we've talked about that a number of times. Yeah. But anyway, so TLDR, What do you think about Spider-Man No Way Home?
I think it's debatably the best live action Spider-Man movie. It's close with being the best Spider-Man movie with Into the Spider-Verse, because I like that movie a lot, and I think I need to watch this movie again. But
it's like in the same tier potentially as Spider-Verse.
Yeah, like, you know what,
wow, that is.
I'm interested to watch this movie by myself at home, because I don't know how much of it.
Because if it's like a Doritos get hype moment, just amping it up in your mind, yeah.
And it's like being in the theater with people that are also excited, like when things are happening. Like that adds a lot to an experience like that.
I'll never forget watching the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie because of that. Because people were so hype.
Yeah.
And that movie's great. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, have you watched it?
For sure.
Have you watched it at home?
Yeah, twice I think.
But like, was it as good?
I definitely missed the interaction and the energy in the room, but that movie still rips fucking ass for sure.
Yeah, but
very good.
But that's my point. Is that if you strip that away, how good is this movie? I would say it's still very good. I do,
but you don't know if it's gonna get to that point. Okay.
I question, and I'm not going into spoilers at all.
If you did, we're gonna have to.
We'd have a big.
We'd have to recast the show.
Yeah, we'd have a big problem. No, I will say, while there isn't a lot, there's a lot for the characters that are in it to do. But as far as the plot goes, it's a pretty basic plot.
Mm.
The plot is basically to serve, and this sounds like I'm describing every Marvel movie. But the plot is to serve the purpose of all these people fighting and interacting with one another, more than most other Marvel movies. And it's not, by any means, it's not bad. It's just you're not gonna walk out of this movie of wow, what a deep thing. I got so I
mean, let me be real. Let me be real. And this is probably a hot take. Everybody holds up Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They are, if you strip them down to their basic parts, they're nothing special. A lot of people have come around and said that the Raimi Spider-Man movies have way more heart, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And there are elements of even the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies that I like more. So I'm definitely of the mind that it's kind of like pizza. Any Spider-Man movie is a good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to make something really special. I still think that Spider-Man 1 and 2 are kind of hard to beat for me, the Raimi ones, just because it hit me at the right time for nostalgia, and also Spider-Man 2 is kind of a tearjerker. You know what I mean? It's a heartfelt story. There's a lot of
Dashboard Confessional.
And they say
that and the, you know, the whole were the money troubles in there? Was that the house getting?
That was in 2.
That
yeah.
was in 2.
Was that 3? Yeah. When he's okay, and 3 was the one when he was living in the apartment with the Polish chick across from her who made him cookies.
That was
sure.
No,
that was 3, or was that also 2?
So 2, yeah, it's also 2 because 2 he's living alone, but Aunt May is having money trouble, or he barely has any money, but Aunt May is having money.
He's
trouble.
doing the pizza stuff, right?
Right, because Uncle Ben is dead.
Yeah,
and she has no spoilers.
What?
Oh my god. And
not Uncle
she
Ben.
has no income, so she is, she's just floundering basically.
That was the part when he came over and she's like, happy birthday, and she tries to give him some money, and then he sees the foreclosure letters, and she's like, you take this money from me, and oh my god. Fucking just rip my heart out.
Rip my heart, Aunt May. Old ass Aunt May.
Yeah, man. But those movies are really, really great. I think that the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are way more spectacle than anything else, just because that's what Marvel is now.
It is, but I think even Homecoming, like the spoilers for Homecoming, the movie's been out for like 5 years or whatever it is.
When he goes over to her house.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, like that whole scene with Michael Keaton, you know, when he opens
the
door, like there are
terrifying.
Yeah, there are great,
and the scene in the car outside the dance.
Yeah, like there are great moments in that movie that are like very and you understand him as a villain. Like you get his motivation.
Yes.
There's a lot more meat on that bone. This is more like
he's like a lesser version of Magneto.
I'll put it this way.
He's right, but he's going way too far.
Homecoming is like a great steak, and No Way Home is like every one of your favorite appetizers that you've ever eaten. Like to pick them all and put them on a plate.
So No Way Home is tapas.
Yeah, No Way Home is tapas.
Tapas.
Okay, gotcha.
But I can't recommend it enough. Everybody should see it.
I like me some tapas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you won't be disappointed.
Lots of variety, lots of little things.
I haven't been disappointed by any of the Spider-Man movies. I think it's just a matter of like, is it gonna get revisited or not?
Sure.
Because like I feel like I've not really revisited the Tom Holland movies more than like maybe once.
I don't revisit Marvel stuff really ever.
Yeah.
So
I buy every superhero movie that comes out on Blu-ray. It's just like I've always done it. And I'm probably gonna stop soon. Because I used to rewatch them a lot.
There's so many.
Yeah, I used to rewatch them a lot. But the Harry says we need a spoiler cast on this. It'll happen, I'm sure.
I would
someday.
I would definitely be up for that, and I also want to talk about doing a Halo spoiler cast.
That we should do.
So I need
but
to
yeah,
finish Halo.
Andrew Garfield's. I haven't seen those since I saw them in theaters. I've had no desire to watch them.
I only saw the first one, then everyone said the second one was bad, so I didn't watch it.
The second one's like laughable. But
but literally the best moments in the Andrew Garfield run are in that movie.
I know.
Yeah.
But also the cringiest. Yeah. That movie's all over the place.
Yes, it is all over the place. The problem is that movie had the most promise out of maybe any of the Spider-Man movies. Like real talk. Like I think if you look at what it is on paper.
Oh, on paper, sure.
The potential is like outrageous.
Jamie Foxx is the villain? Like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
As Electro, Electro, great Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting, I think, just based on like the way that he interacts with Spider-Man and the way that like electricity is just a challenge to deal with in general. And then like the whole Harry subplot, which is like always one of my favorites. You know, and I think that elements of it are done better than like the Raimi movies, but certain elements are done way worse. Way worse.
His makeup is so rough.
Please do not make me look at this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's, but like the end of that movie is like, oh my God, rip my heart out.
Yep.
Like so good.
Yeah.
So good. But pain, lots of pain. But yeah, okay. Well, if we're gonna do a spoiler cast on it, I'll see if I can work out a time to go see it really soon. And then we can do a Halo spoiler cast again. It's been a while since we've done a spoiler cast. I want to do one. Mm-hmm. I'm hungry for one. I got to tell you.
I need to play more Halo. Apparently,
I beat it this weekend.
Barely played any of it. Oh,
I've been playing a lot of the multiplayer and then just going around and 100%ing it again, like kind of making sure that everything is like totally set to like put the Halo Infinite guide on the bus and send it away to school forever. You know. But yeah, so my hubs are done. So if you're looking for 100% of all the collectibles in all the different areas, I've split them out. So if you're looking at no spoilers, but there are several kind of major areas in Halo Infinite that you can explore. I've got all of those split out into different hubs, so you can just go through and check off all the stuff that you have. Also, our interactive map for Halo Infinite is extremely good. We worked really, really hard to like put everything on the map. So if you're looking for audio logs or Spartan cores or Mjolnir armor lockers, all that stuff. Looking for where all the like bases and all that sort of shit is. Check out the guide. If you search IGN Zeta Halo, you'll find the map and it looks beautiful.
Is it worth me like doing all that side stuff? Because as soon as I got out in the world, that's like all I found myself really doing.
I mean, that's
like,
what...
should I just do the campaign, like just go straight to the missions, or should I actually take the time to like do stuff on the map?
The thing for me is I love the gameplay of this game. So like it was one of those situations where it was like, and I think that because of this is probably, and I'm sure we'll get way more into this in the spoiler cast, but I think this is one of the Halo games that I'll probably revisit more than the others, just because the gameplay feels so smooth and tight, and there are just way more opportunities for you to be creative than there were in like previous games. Even though like you could replay the missions, and at this point you can't replay them unless you start a new game. They're gonna add that later, along with co-op and all that sort of stuff, where you'll be able to like go in and replay missions, which is one of the reasons why like it was so important for us to get the collectibles that are in those missions that are missable, including like skulls and shit. But I like it. The big thing is knowing what different activities gets you. So like when you're in the open world, you doing all of these things all over the place gets you Valor. And Valor gets you unlocks at the weapon stations and vehicle stations at your little bases that you unlock.
Yeah.
So like if you want the best vehicles, the best weapons, and this sort of a thing, like I think it's worth it. Like by the time I got to like the second to last area in the game, like I'd unlocked like the stuff that I wanted. Like I unlocked like a flying vehicle that I could just summon whenever I wanted, which made it really easy for me to just get wherever the fuck I wanted to go. But I think that at bare minimum, you should take a peek around the map and like look at the targets, because getting rid of the targets actually unlocks weapons on their own without you having to like earn up to a certain amount. So like if you kill like one of the like mini bosses or whatever, like you just get their weapon and then you can pull that up whenever you want. So like if you like certain versions of these weapons, or like if you like certain like Covenant weapons or like brute weapons or whatever, like you can get variants of those that you can just have.
I did get some kind of skewer that explodes or something.
Yes, the voltaic skewer. That thing is extremely powerful. My first time playing through the game, that was like my second weapon that I was always getting every time I went to a base. There's some really cool stuff that you can get later, including like improved versions of the regular guns. Like you can get like an assault rifle that like is more accurate over a longer distance. So they can actually be like a close and medium range one. There's like the shotgun that's way more accurate, has like a smaller spread, and it fires like over a way further effective range and has like double the capacity. Like it's ridiculous. It made me really wish, like, I don't really like the shotgun in multiplayer. It made me really wish that version was in multiplayer.
Yeah, they need to bring back the classic Halo shotgun, because I don't like the shotgun in multiplayer either.
I have a feeling
the yellow shotgun from the campaign, try that out and let me know what you think, because that feels way more like classic Halo shotgun.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to be like rotating. I could see them doing that with modes, like, you know, this week we're doing like, you know, Halo 1 like tuned weapons. You know, where it might be the same like model, but then it'll
it would be cool
a certain way, because like it's weird for them to introduce that whole system where they have like these modified versions of weapons and not let you implement that anywhere else other than like campaign. And I think you can do it in like custom games right now in multiplayer.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, they're not in matchmaking, but there is a way to toggle them on in custom.
There is. You sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I was totally looking through, because I made my own custom. There was a classic thing that I used to do in Halo 3 and Halo Reach, which is called Moon Wars. And if you want to create this at home, you can look it up. Moon Wars 3. It's published. You can go find it. It's basically super speed, half gravity, and then energy swords and sniper rifles. So the basic idea is you're sprinting all over at like lightning speed across the map. And you have it's 4-on-4, but you're on a big team battle map because you need a lot of room to run around. And you're running around and you're like trying to duel and like juke and that sort of thing and get each other with energy swords. And if anybody jumps in the air, you can get out of sight, but then you're also like on a long arc, so then you can switch to your sniper and just pick them out of the sky. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
We played so many hours of this in college, and I remade Moon Wars for Infinite, so now we can play that. And I had Audrey try it, and she like really enjoyed it and asked to play it again another day. So I think we're gonna do a little bit of that. Also, we may have Audrey on the Halo spoiler cast.
Nice.
Hey. Have they put Griffball in Infinite yet, or somebody put Griffball in there yet, or is
I don't think Griffball, but there is Oddball.
Forge is there. I don't think
Oddball though is not the same thing as Griffball though. Like Griffball is definitely like its own beast.
Because I think I've
only played Griffball once.
Didn't you?
Oh my god! When you're with friends, it's ridiculously fun.
Didn't you need the Forge to be able to create like a Griffball map, or did they eventually put that in the game?
No, maybe I don't know. They did add it to the game because it's in 5 and it's in Master Chief Collection, like as a queuable game mode.
Because wasn't that like a red versus blue game at first? Yeah. And then,
it was like they created it basically.
Yeah.
And then
it's very fun. It's very silly.
Yeah. I miss Zombies too. That was a good one.
Zombies is fun.
Infection mode.
Yeah, Infection. Yeah.
There's a lot of game modes that are not in the game yet that I'm sure we'll make it there at some point, but I'm missing.
I mean, at the very least, as soon as Forge comes out, like that's
gonna be it.
It's absolutely gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm very excited to like bring all of those awesome old modes into the gameplay loop that is Infinite, because come on, man. Like,
come on, man.
Yeah.
So good. So good. What do we want to talk about next?
Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know if you guys heard, but they stopped selling Final Fantasy XIV for the second time in a row.
Oh wow!
I did hear that.
Yeah, because just everyone wants to play it, and no one can get in. It's hard to get in right now, man. Like you, essentially, let me start this over. But like essentially, Square Enix pulled all advertising for Endwalker, and then they pulled it off from sale, the actual game off the markets for like digital marketplaces. Not because it's broken or has anything wrong with it, but because there are too many fucking people trying to play.
It's too popular. Friend of the show, Ronnie Barrier was like, "Yeah, I've been able to play for like 2 or 3 hours this week, and I've been queued for at least 9."
Yep. Like anytime I want to play, like if me or Nicole want to play, we have to essentially be like, all right, like we want to play tonight. I got to make dinner. Like around 2:30, I have to log in and queue. And, like,
it is literally the Seinfeld shower joke, but for real. It's
I don't know that I know the Seinfeld shower joke.
It's so Elaine's going over and like staying over and watching Jerry's apartment, and he's like, all right, so here's the deal. You want to take a shower? You turn on the hot water, you go out, you do all your shopping, you get your car, you do all this sort of stuff, you come back, it'll be ready to go. That sort of thing. It's basically like it takes forever to get heated up. And that is what's happening here, but for real. He's like we were playing Halo with Ronnie like a few nights ago, and he was like, I've been queued for 5 hours and I still have 5,000 people in front of me.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's I haven't been that bad. Like our server's pretty popular. Like the average queue, depending on if it's like a peak night or whatever, we might have like 4,000 to 6,000 people, which means it's gonna take us 2.5 to 3 hours to get in.
You know what? What's a shame is like people are just gonna stop trying, and
a lot of people will stop trying. There have been a couple nights where I'm like, it's like I'm not gonna play. Yeah, I don't want to go through it. Like I'd rather just play. So I was like playing Halo or League of Legends or something, because I was like, I just don't want to. Because sometimes by the time you even get in, you're like, man, I don't even know if I want to play anymore.
Right.
Like
I wanted to play 2.5 hours ago. Yeah.
Like it's a shame because like this is a game that the people that like you, Josh, like that have been playing it forever, that, they've been rallying for everybody to try this game out, and then here comes the Warcraft community. They're just like,
that was the first time.
We want
that was the first time they had to stop selling it.
Yeah,
was when all of them came in. And now it's just
they give priority to players that have been playing, right?
And it still doesn't matter.
Well, no, because they also suspended all free trials for now. So if you have a free trial account, like, good luck. You're probably not even getting in, like, at all. It's rough, but when you're in, you're like, I'm glad I'm in here, right? I'm playing the game. Like, it's still awesome. It's just like, man, I don't know that I've ever lived through a game that suffered from so much success that, like, they have to literally pull the sales,
Truly unprecedented times.
It's pretty unprecedented. But yeah, like, when I have been playing, I think I'm about halfway done with the expansion, and, like, it's good. It's good. I'm having a good time. I still have a lot to do, though. Like, apparently it's the longest expansion they've ever made. Apparently it's about as long as, like, a full Final Fantasy title, which I would have said all of the expansions sort of felt like they were as long as, like, a full Final Fantasy title, but this one apparently is that. And I would say that's probably true because I've played a fair amount the last 2 weeks it's been out, and I'm only about halfway done. But it's good. It's cool. It did start slow as sin. They warned us, though. They were like, just so everyone knows, like, when you start, you're going to be like, this feels really slow, and then it's going to ramp, right? And, like, for the first 2 hours, I was messaging my friend. I'm like, they said this was going to be slow, but, like, fuck, man. This is kind of slow. And he was like, yeah, it totally is. But then it started actually, like, picking up. And I'm like, okay, now we're going. We're cooking with gas. I'm at the moment now where we're kind of just, like, going. Like, nice. Saving the world, all that stuff. But, yeah. And apart from that, they're trying to play Final Fantasy XIV and, like, moving and stuff. It's like, I wanted to play more Tales of Arise, but it's tough to find time. But I'm like, I've hit the 8-hour mark, and I really like that game a lot, and I highly recommend it to people. Even if you've never played a Tales game before, I would say this is a good one to start with, because it feels very, like, I don't know if beginner friendly is the word, because it's not like easy, right? It still has, like, some challenge. I would say it's more like just very clean and streamlined. Like, everything's very clean and streamlined. It teaches you at a very good pace.
Is that game turn-based?
No,
it's action.
It's action.
Is it hard?
I don't know if any of the Tales games have ever been turn-based.
I've never played one.
The only 3 I've ever played were all action-based. So,
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One, what difficulty are you playing on? Because I've heard that, like, there's
normal.
There's kind of a spike when it gets to bosses.
There is a little bit of a spike, but I wouldn't say it's that bad.
It's not that bad? Okay.
No, I maybe if people are not doing the side quests, which do not take that long, maybe they're having a little bit of a harder time, but I haven't had a hard time. I think there might have been one boss where I had to do it again, but other than that, like, they're not too bad. They are. You definitely feel it, though. You're like, oh, this is a little stronger. Like, I actually have to, like, pay attention a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're like game-breakingly hard or anything.
You don't think it's too much?
You're just like, no, I don't think so. And also, maybe it's, I don't know if there's a hard mode. I assume there is. I'm playing on normal. It feels fine. So,
okay.
Yeah. Game's
and then
great.
I had a question about Final Fantasy. Has Square talked about, like, expanding, like, servers and stuff like that? Have they talked?
They have, actually, and they literally can't because of the chip shortage. They literally can't build more servers to, like, accommodate people, which is
they can't even fix the problem.
That means they're hosting their own.
They are hosting their own servers.
Yeah, they're not using, like, an AWS or an Azure or anything like that.
They said that very soon. I think they were like, we're gonna actually have more servers. Like, they had ordered some, I think, back when the WoW people came in, and they're like just now getting them basically because there's just like such a shortage on raw materials and stuff that they just couldn't get the servers just to sustain all these people. So they actually ended up giving people like almost a month of game time. Like I got 21 days or something for free because because the queue times are just like so long and so crazy.
You know how you solve this problem? And everyone's going to be like, shut the fuck up. This is how you solve the problem.
You play anything else, that's what you're going to say.
You partner with Google and you say, hey, all these Stadia servers that are sitting around that aren't being used, publish Final Fantasy for all of our players for free as long as they have a Stadia subscription.
I don't think that would fix the problem, though.
It would give them more infrastructure.
It would, but like just the way that like those kinds of MMOs are set up, like they're set up in a very specific way that like other games aren't set up.
Yeah.
And so I just don't think that would do anything. I don't think.
No.
And also it would lead to just a slew of other problems because they didn't develop the game for that. So like it would be a whole other just like bag of things they would have to develop for, right? So
bag of things.
Yeah. But when you're in the game, you're like, this is great. I'm having a good time.
This is amazing.
It definitely feels like the end of an era kind of thing. So we'll see where they go after this because they've said that this is the end of the storyline that they've started. So I think my friend thinks, he says he doesn't think I'm right, but he also just doesn't want it to be true, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think they're going to do a segmented sequel that is like in the client, but they're going to do like a bit of a soft reset. Sort of like Overwatch 2 was going to be, or it's like, it's still Overwatch 1, like those people still play together, but it's like a sequel, or like how
like Splatoon 2.
Path of Exile 2 is going to still be within Path of Exile, but it's like a separate thing you click into and stuff. So like all your one stuff's still there, but like I'm like, dude, they had a whole interview, I think in like Famitsu or something, where they were like, yeah, MMOs are weird to write for and develop for because like you're stuck in this time bubble where like people who come in and they're gonna play a Realm Reborn, like their world has to look the way it looks for them, like. You know, you can't change things because then you have to cut things out. And because it's basically a Final Fantasy story, but you're online, they can't really do like certain things. And I feel like they're trying to ease people into this, like, we're going to move the timeline over like 10 years and we're all going to start from level 1. All your stuff will still be there. So you can go to old Eorzea and still play and do stuff, and your achievements and like things you've earned will still be there. But we're going to be like, let's move over here now, do like a new story. You know, we're going to do a new story and stuff, but you'll have
maybe like a better looking engine.
Well, that's what I was,
I mean, yeah, it's like a 10-year-old game at this point. Yeah. So
and everybody keeps talking about how great that game looks, and I'm like, you have not played any other games.
It does look really good for what it is, but
right.
Also it looks good in certain instances and on certain machines. Compared to a lot of other games, yeah, you're like, this looks like it came out on the 360 or something. But then but then at the same time, when you play like raids and all the particle effects are going off and there's like things falling and everyone's it actually, you're like, this looks really good actually, like, and it's maintaining my like 100 frames a second, you know. But
yeah, I would love to see it like be more kind of stylized and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's just.
I mean, the art style is a turnoff for some people, but I think it looks like a Final Fantasy game, at least to me.
Now, maybe this will rub people the wrong way, but like I would love to see it look like, and this would never happen because like why would they do this? But I would love to see the Final Fantasy MMO be like that kind of like watercolor style of like the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, like with Mont Blanc, like the very kind of wispy looks, you know, like that art is like so cool to me. Like the Amano art.
I love Amano art.
Like that stuff, man. That'd just be, if they can make that work, like that'd be cool. And like looking at games like Astria Ascending, it's like you could do it, like because that's
you could
like
do
that,
it, but
that game kind of looks like that.
Yeah, you can do it, but then you have to think about like how much,
like what
memory this all takes up,
right.
and
like what makes that game able to look like that versus how many back end systems are in.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
When you're running,
not saying it would be easy, not saying it would be even possible, but I'm saying like looking at things like Guilty Gear Strive, where it's like this looks like animated, but it's also 3D. Like, combine that with like that old kind of watercolor style art. Like, I think that would be awesome because then it wouldn't look like anything else. It wouldn't look like an old game. It would look like Final Fantasy XIV.
Speaking of things that don't look like anything else, segue. Arcane is so good, Josh.
Yes.
That show rules.
You didn't tell me you watched it.
I watched
oh my god, dude, it's incredible.
3 episodes last night with Jess. I turned it on and I looked at Jess. She was like, she wanted to watch Ted Lasso.
That makes me so happy.
And I was like,
and you were like, no.
I literally I hovered over Apple TV on the Xbox and I was like, you know what? No, I've been trying to watch this freaking show for like 3 weeks. We're watching Arcane. She was like, all right. So like we get through the first episode and I kind of like I gave her the look of like,
what do you think?
What gives them the right?
Well, but the first episode, like it's okay, but like it's world building. Like you're learning who the characters are.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot that's happening.
It's very basic. Like here's a bunch of kids and they're gonna grow up, right, and do something, and they're getting into hijinks and fights. Like it's very like, I get what you say. I get what you mean.
Yeah,
but
it's just like okay,
goddamn.
These little whippersnappers are getting into trouble.
I still think about that episode 3 ending like every day.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And then so like I looked over, I turned on the next one, and then the second one ended. She was like, "What time is it?" I was like, "It's 10 o'clock." Like normally we go to bed like 10:30, like on the dot.
Yeah.
And she was like,
"You're like, can we stay for another 40 minutes?"
She gave me the silent nod, and I was like, "Hell yeah!"
There we go.
So yeah, I'm sure she's gonna want to squeeze another one in tonight.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey.
So I'm guessing this is gonna be the point where 2/3 of the podcast turns on me and says, "Brian, why aren't you watching the show?"
Like not even like how like you gotta watch the show. It's really good.
You watch it on your own time, right? Like I've told a lot of people to watch it, but I'm not like constantly like messaging them like, "Hey,
no, like,
why haven't you watched it?" Real life happens, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't imagine you watching it and being like watching the first 3 episodes or the first 2 episodes and being like, like I don't think that's gonna happen for you because I don't care about League of Legends.
See it. Brian surprises me a lot.
Brian doesn't like a lot of things. We know this about him. This is very true.
He will. I think, Brian, you will like it, but I think you might be of the camp where you're like, why do people think this is like the most amazing thing ever? But
it's pretty damn good.
It is very good.
But I feel like I'm just more dynamic. Like it's not like I'm down on everything. Like the things I'm up on, I'm really up on.
And
I didn't say that. Just like you surprise me sometimes where I think Brian's gonna love this, and you're like, I hate this thing.
This is the worst.
Well, he's like,
why
oh my
people
god,
think this is good.
Harry says we got to get a Arcane spoiler cast as well.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I mean, we're lining them up.
I would do. I don't know if there's expanded lore to that show, how much it ties into League of Legends, or if that's its own thing.
They've apparently overwritten a lot of the League lore. So like right now, I don't know if they consider them the same thing, but there's things and like relationships and stuff that happen in the show that are like not implied by League lore. And it's sort of, they're just like, we're just gonna do this because it's the best thing for this story, right? Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna like change that stuff, but
my understanding is that this is from my very limited perspective in like games and entertainment media, but not being plugged into like this community. My understanding, and I think I saw something about this, was that like when they were expanding into like Project L, Ruined King, Arcane, all this sort of stuff, my understanding was that this was going to be unified. This was all going to be like canon.
I think that's their goal.
Like
they're like I think they're trying to overwrite like a lot of the old.
So this might just be like retcons instead of conflicts. Like this might be the new whatever. Maybe.
I don't know anything about like Runeterra lore, so
Oh Jesus God! There's that card game too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the world that League, takes place in.
No,
like,
but I was just thinking like
world
that's another thing that they're doing. That like might have stuff, like there might be like card descriptions or something that have something. I don't know if it's like
because it's what now? Runeterra, League, Valorant, the fighting game they're making.
Project L, yeah.
And
then Arcane.
Yep.
They're making an action RPG also.
Yeah.
Ruined King, the turn-based action RPG or the turn-based RPG from Airship Syndicate.
Yep.
I think that's
they have like a platformer coming out. Song of Nunu or whatever is also a thing they're working on.
Okay.
It's like it looks like a 3D platformer.
Song of Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah. You made that joke like an episode or two ago.
Yes, you did. At least
did I really?
Yes, you did.
You did, because we brought this exact thing up when I brought up the show.
When you were talking about the fighting game, and then I looked up the video for it, and I was like, "This looks pretty good."
It does look cool.
Yeah.
I will say.
Real talk, I did not remember.
You don't remember a lot, Brian
That's
Barnett.
Here's the thing: my brain is full of stars.
Yeah,
so
he has to like.
Your brain is full of shiny objects that you look at and then quickly find the next shiny object.
Hey, you know what? That's what I got to do. I just go like a crow or a cormorant or whatever that bird is that does that thing. I'm just one shiny object to the next, man. Just bringing them all home.
Okay. All this to say, I'm super happy that you started watching it and like it because it's really good.
Yeah, Arcane rips. It's very
and you can watch because they're in 3 acts. Like each of the 3 episodes is like an
arc.
They were acts. So when they released it each week, they would release the 3. So they called them like Act 1. So like that's why episode 3 feels like very final a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because that was the end of Act 1. So then Act 2, there's like a time jump and stuff.
Okay.
I'm glad I know Act 3, that. There's not really, but like they kind of go in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that makes it much easier when I watch one episode and then Jess looks at me and goes, well, really, when Jess says, I want to watch 1, and then I go, really, you want to watch 3? Because every time 1 ends, she's going to go.
Because each episode's about 40 minutes, like 40 to 45 minutes.
Right.
Like on the dot almost. So if you push them all together, you're just like watching a movie basically.
Yeah.
Every night.
Which I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, I may watch that soon. We got caught up on Hawkeye, like last night or the night before last.
Ooh, that last episode, baby. Ooh.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good.
I've only watched the first 2 still.
Oh man, that show gets very good.
It gets significantly better later on. Like 4 and 5 are like pretty good.
Yeah.
I definitely don't see the argument that some people are making of like that this is like the best show so far.
I absolutely
do.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I really do.
All right.
I don't know how anything gets better to me than like WandaVision, but I also just like weird shit. So WandaVision's
I think
up my alley.
It depends.
I think WandaVision and Loki are both like better than this.
Yeah. Loki had I liked Loki a lot, but I think Loki had a lot of episodes that it would end and I was kind of like, okay, like what are they gonna do with this now? Like not like what's gonna happen. It was like where do we even go from here? This is
we'll only really know after Hawkeye is over where it sits.
Hawkeye is consistently just like getting better and better and better as it goes on, and it's doing a very good job at setting up the MCU at large as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I just find it really hard outside of like specifically referencing the events of Endgame. It's really hard to get me to sympathize with Hawkeye because I just don't care.
And if you I think that's a big part of it. If you've never cared about him as a character, then like, yeah, this show probably isn't going to be for you.
The good thing is the stuff that they're leaning into is literally the only stuff I care about.
Yeah.
Like Endgame, Ronan Hawkeye, his relationship with Natasha, later, like in Infinity War and Endgame, like that time period. That's the only stuff I care about with Hawkeye. That's the only stuff that like made me feel anything. Other than that, he's just like some idiot that shoots arrows.
I just want to feel something again.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't. But the same is true for Black Widow. Like Black Widow became a character that I cared about in Endgame.
Yeah.
Like post Blip, Black Widow is like awesome. And it bums me out that we haven't got more of her at that stage. You know what I mean? Like in that like conflicted kind of trying to hold things together part of her life. You know, because I just find that version of the character the most interesting.
Sure.
And Ronin Hawkeye is like, and like post Ronin Hawkeye is like the time when like Clint is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there's just a lot more flavor to it.
What's
going on with the chat?
Let's make a trifecta. Need a spoiler cast for Hawkeye.
I mean, I'll do it. Like but honestly, between now and February, when all those new games come out, like it would be a good time to put in a lot of spoiler casts. So we can definitely do that.
Yeah. You know what?
So I need to finish Halo and I need to finish Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Halo should probably be one that we do sooner rather than later, and then I can go out and see Spider-Man. We can do that one. And then
you guys will probably do. I'm not seeing that one anytime soon, so y'all can do that one.
Yeah.
But I will try to be on the Halo one because I love Halo and I need to I need to play it. But
yeah, Audrey's almost finished. I think she's got like just a couple of missions left, maybe 3 or 4.
The end of that game is interesting. It's like
I'm very excited to talk about it.
More just the way the missions are laid out.
Yeah.
Like that game goes from being very open to not being very open. Like
it's kind of the structure of the thing is like linear opening, huge like mid-section, and then it tightens back up for the end.
Yeah. Like I didn't expect it to do that. Like I kept there was one night I was playing to like probably like 1:30. And I kept waiting I was like, okay, I'll just play until I get back into the open world. And like it never happened. And then like I kept getting to the next mission and I was like,
and then it was over.
Yeah, and then I just was beside myself. But yeah, I kept waiting for that to happen. I was like, oh, I guess they're just not doing that. I guess I'll go to bed. And then I beat it.
There's definitely a point of no return in that game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Did they warn you about it?
No,
no.
That's what I thought. That was weird. I was like, I expected there to be like a, hey, if you want to level up, Master Chief,
be aware.
Yeah.
But
there's no turning back.
But like a PSA about it. I mean, your level doesn't really matter in those sections because you don't have access to your bases.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not like you're gonna.
Yeah, so it's like classic Halo.
It's really
exactly.
It's really only of a benefit for like the grappling hook, and like all your other, you know.
Yeah, I guess like your equipment upgrades and stuff. Yeah. If you don't have like upgraded equipment or whatever, but like by the time you get to that point, like if you were interested in upgrading that stuff, like you'd already done it.
Exactly, and that's what I figured. I was like, all right, my shield that I'm throwing, like I never use that thing. Like
the drop wall.
Yeah, the drop wall. Like I'm not leveling that up, and I didn't, and I was fine. I will say
by the time I got that one, I had a bunch of extra points.
There are, and I think I said this the day I beat it. There are parts of that game I'm playing on normal, and granted, like, look, I don't play video games the way I used to. I know I don't. I have a full-time job. I'm an adult. Whatever. I was like shocked at how difficult this game got it at certain moments.
There are some moments where I was like, oh man, this is this is getting spicy over here. I gotta I gotta actually like pay attention.
Yeah. Anytime I would have to go up against a wraith. Like if I wasn't fully equipped, like ready to take that thing on, like I forgot how difficult those things are to kill. Because I feel like by Halo 3, they're pretty easy. Or Halo,
they're tough again.
Yeah, they get tough again.
Yeah, they're like scary.
Yeah, but I didn't.
And enemy vehicles will definitely splatter you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I had way more trouble. Well, I'm not gonna talk about it because we'll just save that. But there's one particular like mini boss enemy type that like, man. Real tough. especially the variants that you see like in this game. But
there was the one that gave me grief was the like invisible sword elite. I got him first try, but it was not.
He's a sneaky one.
Not like it almost went bad. He almost got me.
If you're trying to get all the collectibles, brace yourself, my friends.
Oh boy. I don't know that I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I kind of just want to play the campaign.
Specifically, if you're going for all the skulls, there's a room, and those who know will know. We'll talk about it during the spoiler cast for sure.
Oh wow. Yeah, like I could see this being a game that I go back to, just to like, I'll get a couple collectibles today or whatever, like go into a base and find stuff. But I have so much stuff in my backlog right now that I like desperately want to play that came out this year that I'm hoping I can do before we do Game of the Year discussions. When I don't think I'm gonna get to it all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I definitely won't have much. I don't think I'll have much to talk about for Game of the Year. I'm gonna have to like go through the list and see.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is we need to have a discussion. And I don't really care if we do this on the show or off. We need to have a discussion of like, what are the big ones that we all played? Like, what bases do we have covered? And then like, what should we probably have covered to some extent? Like, even if it's just like an hour or two or whatever, just so we can talk about it. And then like divvy that up and then get ready and plan it out. Because like, I don't want to have like any huge holes, I think, if we're talking about it.
There's a lot of games that I know none of us have played, and I have them all. I don't think either of you are going to play.
There are a couple big ones that like Forza Horizon, like I want to get to.
Yeah, I would like to try it because everyone's told me how freaking good it is, but I'm just like, I don't have room on my Xbox right now,
Yeah. I've got it loaded and everything. And you know what? Maybe that will be what I try my new card on. Maybe that will be the first thing that I get on my card. What's up?
Harry just put in quotes, I don't want to have huge holes.
Yeah. All right, write it down.
No, I have Kana, which just beat yesterday.
Oh shit, the PlayStation's shit.
I've got Kana, I have Guardians of the Galaxy, Psychonauts 2, which I actually do want to try and play. Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not the person to play Village.
No, I'll play Village. I'm going to. There was one other one. I can't think
Some of the Game Pass stuff I can pick up. Like I feel like Psychonauts 2 is going to be your shit, so like I feel like if anybody is going to like give that a fair shake, it would probably be you.
Right.
But like I can definitely do like some of that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I covered a lot of the indie space this year. Like Loop Hero, Inscription, Death's Door.
Oh, Loop Hero, man.
I played a bunch of that shit. Also, it's free. Loop Hero is free on Epic Game Store. So
right now, though, it's only until tomorrow.
Oh, well, then by the time you're listening to this, it's too late.
Yeah, but go get it now. That game is awesome. Like, that is legitimately, like, on my short list for Game of the Year.
It's probably on mine, too.
Yeah.
It's extremely good.
And it's not even just, like... it's not even just because of the plot or anything, which is, like, I think interesting.
Which is good.
Interesting enough. It's just that it's just this really uniquely designed thing that just works.
It's not like anything I've ever played.
It's very unlike anything that I think has ever really been made. But it takes like all these ideas from other stuff, but it just makes something like totally different.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, and then Inscription, and then like I don't know if something like the Forgotten City has been done. Like this year was a year of like time loop games. Like Loop Hero.
Yep. I wonder why.
Loop, yeah. Loop Hero, Deathloop, Inscription, The Forgotten City, like all of this stuff. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
We're all trapped inside.
No, but well, the developers want to play around with those SSDs, and now more people have them.
Yeah, but I mean, like a lot of these games didn't even need that. Like, you don't need that for Loop Hero. You don't need that for Inscription.
Yeah,
like, they don't.
Yeah, I guess for those you don't. You did for
Loop Hero. Loop Hero could probably run on like a PS1.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But that's cool. I definitely want to do that. If there's any other major stuff, I talked about Hitman 3, so like there's that. I feel like we covered like a lot of them.
We covered a lot. It's just there's all the ones that we haven't. They're all games that like are so my shit, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know when I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
well, here's the thing: if we talk about spoiler casts for stuff that you've already done, that gives you plenty of space for the show.
Right.
So like you don't, you know.
I'm gonna get done what I can get done. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hit the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Let's hit the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for the Game of the Year discussion this year because it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna be all over the place.
Probably will be,
and none of us will agree with each other. But like, it's also like
no, probably
well,
not.
also we all played like such different things.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's no real.
There's
like,
no
right
game
now,
I'm willing to die on a hill for right now.
Yeah,
not really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's one that I'm like, this is probably gonna get it, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like and I've had conversations with other people about this. My criteria for Game of the Year, I think this year, is going to become more firm. Like I think I may actually have like a written down list of like, if you meet all these points, I will consider you for Game of the Year, and if you don't, then like
goodbye.
I won't. Like
I just think about how much did I enjoy it, or did I play it a lot, or
did it have its hooks in me? Did I want to keep coming back? Did I not come back did I not keep coming back because it felt like a job? Like,
and that's part of it. Like part of it is like there were a couple of games that we're going to talk about for Game of the Year that I've played more than once. Yeah. Like there's 3 or 4 that I played more than once, and some of them I like 100%ed more than once. And like I feel like that is like that, and then like, am I going to come back to this ever? Are there any major glaring weak spots like in it? If not, that bumps you up another level. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I feel like looking at something as like a holistic experience, I feel like will be what makes a game of the year worthy for me specifically. Obviously, we all have our own ways of like looking at things, but like to try to tie break all the awesome games that I was playing this year, I was like, okay, what truly makes something stand out? Is it the highest highs, or is it the most consistent highs? You know, that sort of a things. Or like, you know, is it being super, super good, or is it not being bad at all? Like nothing being bad, having basically no critiques or criticisms of it. So I'm very excited to get into even like a cursory discussion of that, like on the Game of the Year show, which I imagine will happen sometime in January.
Yeah,
we'll have to
pick a day,
plan that out. Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Did we have anything else? Chris, did you have something?
I have 2 things.
Okay.
One is more of a PSA.
Okay.
If you, and this is like super specific, so like whatever, but I'm still gonna say it. So if you are somebody that either ordered the Analogue Pocket or is getting an Analogue Pocket or anything like that, and you are on the fence about, or you're thinking about getting an EverDrive for it, I would wait. Historically, for those systems, people have released custom firmware that basically lets you upload ROMs to an SD card, but it still will play the same way that it would off of a cartridge. So you're still getting like the FPGA experience. It's not like it's running off of an emulator or anything like that. And I say it because they're kind of expensive. They're like $100, $150 sometimes, depending on where you get them from.
EverDrives are.
Yeah, EverDrives.
I mean, the Analogue Pocket.
The Analogue
is also,
Pocket is expensive, but yeah, EverDrives.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, EverDrives are pretty expensive. So I this weekend I was like looking into it, and because I have an EverDrive, but I don't know if it's gonna work with it yet. But some people on Reddit were saying they did it with like the Analog the Sega Master System one, the NES, the Super NES. So like people are expecting it to happen for this one too. The other thing is if you miss the pre-orders for the Analog, but you are interested in some kind of handheld that will play older games, RetroPie just released pre-orders for the GPie Case 2, which will play. This one will actually play N64, PlayStation, Dreamcast, like that era of
But a handheld?
In a handheld, and it looks like the Game Boy. So keep in mind, like, you are kind of limited with certain games because you're not going to have as many buttons. You're not going to have analog inputs. Because it is just a D-pad with 4 buttons, and then they have L and R mapped to flat buttons on the back. But what's cool about this one compared to the last one is it's a better display. The older display wasn't great. Rechargeable battery. You can get one with a dock, so you can actually plug it into a TV. It'll output at 720p, and then you can just like Bluetooth the controller to it. So if maybe the Steam Deck was out of your price range, but you want like some kind of portable emulation machine that you can kind of bring around with you, check it out. There's a video on ETA Prime's YouTube channel where he does like a whole unboxing and demos it and everything. But I think pre-orders for that are up now. I think the case itself is like $80, and then you would have to get whatever Raspberry Pi comes with it. I have no idea what that costs, but I saw it today and almost ordered it because I like handhelds. I like tinkering with all that stuff. And I was like, between the Analogue Pocket and the Steam Deck coming next year, I do not need this thing. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
But if you were in a position where you really wanted one of these, and maybe you were short on cash or whatever the case may be, definitely check it out because it looks like a cool product.
I do want an Analogue Pocket because they're really neat, but I do have a Steam Deck reservation, so I'm
sticking with that.
Just waiting to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Waiting to see when I get that, if I even like it or use it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
cool.
It seemed cool.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think so.
Josh, we good?
Yeah.
Shall we out?
Let's out.
Shall we?
Let's
or
out.
as I say,
Let's
when I'm trying to get my family ready to go out of the house, shall we away?
Oh.
To which the response is, we shall away.
F you, Dad.
Yeah, to which the response is, fuck you, Daddy. By the way, she said daddy. So Riley has called me Dada for ages.
Yeah.
Because that's Dada, mamas, this sort of stuff. She started saying daddy. Instead of baba, she says baby. Like that sort of thing.
An upward inflection.
Yes. I mean, she does that all the time. Like, oh wow. Nice. She does that all the time. So yeah.
Cute.
So we're entering into a new world of daddy.
That phase.
Daddy. So cute.
All right. She is, like, you guys haven't even seen her lately. I gotta get her on video with you guys because, like,
yeah, it's been a minute.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Super adorbs. Everybody says that their kid is the cutest, but mine actually is. And I'll prove it to you.
There's that classic Brian Barnett opinion.
Yep.
It's very true. That is
I'm
a very
right, you're wrong,
thing to
and
say.
here's why.
Tune in at 11.
He's like, lots of people like to think X, but when in reality it's Y.
Yeah.
Like, not even an I think. It's just it is.
Nope. Yeah.
This wouldn't be Yugi.
People like the Wonder Swan, but those people are weird.
Here's 10 reasons why the Virtual Boy was way better. But yeah,
I would love to hear that because I would be shocked.
And let me follow that up with another Brian Barnett-ism. But even though I say those ridiculously inflammatory things, I'm right. So it's fine.
There it is.
So there you go.
I can't believe you name dropped the Wonder Swan. I thought I was the only one that ever thought about that console.
Yeah.
I've never even held one, but I know of it.
Held one.
I had a little bit of a choke on spit moment
fine.
there for a second.
It's just funny. Oh my
Write
God.
that down. Yeah, I haven't held one, but I know of it.
Okay.
Whatever that was.
Oh my God.
But yeah, thank you all for joining us for episode 211 of the Platformers. If you want to check us all out, we're all on Twitter together. You can find like the show's Twitter at PlatformersPod, and on twitch.tv/platformerspod and youtube.com/platformerspod. We stream every episode of the show live on Twitch, and then we archive it on YouTube so you can watch our beautiful faces and our ridiculous doubling over with laughter whenever we talk about swans and wonder, all that sort of business. You can check me out on Twitter at Ribnax, Ribnax, where I tweet about humorous things, make jokes, retweet kind of society conscious things and what have you, and stuff that I'm working on. If you want to see what I'm working on, you can check out the interactive map for Halo Infinite and all of the collectibles hubs and all that sort of stuff, so you can find all that. Man, I've also written a lot of other guides and all that sort of stuff, but writing those guides and then doing the show is pretty much what I do. So if you like that, hit me up about it. And that is me.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter. I don't tweet that much, but I'm at the Jawa Josh. And if you want to see all the cool video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic.
You can find me on Twitter at Shrives93. Right now, you can find what I think is my most liked tweet ever, which is this stupid Babu Frick joke that I put out earlier. And I don't know. People thought it was really funny. Yeah, I am getting the Analogue Pocket this week. I'm very excited. I'm sure I'll have impressions of that. If you have any recommendations for anything on the N64, let me know, because I've been playing the hell out of mine. And Josh finished painting. Almost finished painting the shell of the broken one that I had sent to him. Mm-hmm. So I will soon have the Ultimate N64, even though I already have the Ultimate N64. Yeah, whatever recommendations you have for old Game Boy, N64, whatever, let me know. Other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you all.
Wow, yeah, that's gonna hit before the next time we record.
Yeah, it's literally Saturday.
Happy holidays if you celebrate.
Yeah.
I don't know when the other holidays are.
Well, Hanukkah already happened.
Okay.
And I don't know when Kwanzaa is. And
I think it's
Festivus is behind us.
The 26th or 7th is Kwanzaa.
Actually, Festivus might be tomorrow. I think it's the 21st.
That's amazing that you know that. Or it's amazing that it has an actual day. Anyway, review us on your podcast platform or podcast platform of choice. And if you have a good time with the show, share it with friends, because we don't advertise. So word of mouth is the only way that other people hear about the show. So from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope that you have a wonderful week and happy holidays. And stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Boy.
Festivus is on the 23rd.